What if I told you a year ago that Russia would invade Ukraine, the US and Europe would ban Russian oil imports, and geopolitical tensions all around the world would be sky high? What do you think would have happened to oil prices? You probably would have expected them to go up. Yet here we sit with only a few weeks left in the year, and oil prices are actually down in 2022. The US oil benchmark West Texas Intermediate is down by 4%, while the European oil benchmark Brent is lower by 1%. At their highest levels of the year in March and June, both oil benchmarks were up as much as 60%, but they've since fallen by 40% from those levels, erasing all of their gains. So why have prices fallen? Well, when it comes to commodities, everything always comes back to supply and demand. Oil prices have fallen in part because demand has come in below expectations this year. Lockdowns and weak economic growth in China have reduced demand in the world's second largest oil consuming country, while economic weakness in Europe and elsewhere have also sapped demand. Then on the supply side, Russia's oil exports have proven to be much more resilient than expected. Even though Russian oil exports to the US, Europe, Korea, and Japan have slowed down to a trickle because of restrictions put on by those countries, Russia has rerouted its oil to willing buyers in China, India, and Turkey. The result is Russian oil supplies have only fallen by a very small amount this year. At the same time, oil supplies from other countries have surged in 2022 by 4.6 million barrels per day, according to the International Energy Agency, which is well above the 2.1 million barrels per day increase in demand this year. A drawdown in emergency oil reserves in the US and other countries has also added to supplies. So that's why oil prices are down on the year. But remember that this is just a moment in time. We're just comparing oil prices today to where they were at the start of the year. But for much of 2022, consumers have faced sky-high prices, especially for the end products that they use. Oil prices actually never reached an all-time high this year, but gasoline and diesel prices did. A shortage of refining capacity pushed prices of gasoline and diesel to record premiums compared to oil prices themselves. As a reminder, oil prices make up roughly half of the price you pay at the pump. The rest comes from the cost of refining and distribution, as well as taxes. Today, gasoline prices are back to where they started the year, but diesel prices are still up 20%. So what might happen next year? Well, if there's anything we learned from this year, it's that predicting energy prices is extremely difficult. Most predictions are going to end up being wrong. But I think we can safely say that if we get a global economic recession in 2023, then all bets are off. Oil prices are going to probably keep trending lower. On the other hand, if the economic outlook improves, then demand might pick up and that could drive prices higher. That doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to see a surge in prices at the pump though. Just like diesel prices are up significantly from where they started the year, even though oil prices are down. If more refining capacity comes online next year, then we could see the opposite. Fortunately, there's good news on that front. According to the IEA, 3 large refining projects in Kuwait, Nigeria, and Mexico are coming online by the end of 2023. That could significantly increase refining capacity and put downward pressure on prices for diesel and gasoline. We'll see what happens. Subscribe for more investing insights.